Today we are going to channel Bob Ross, one of the great television art teachers of all time, and we still love him years and years after he has passed away. So today on the video, I'm going to show you how I painted this painting, and I'm kind of taking the Bob Ross approach to it. And I have some quotes that I will read to you from Bob Ross, but I'll start with this one because of the tree. You see the tree? It's a crooked tree. So Bob Ross once said, let me find it on here, I have to read it off my other screen. "That's a crooked tree. We'll send him to Washington." That's great. All right, let me show you how I painted this, and we're going to channel Bob Ross today. How about that? Not like a psychic, because I can't do that, but just like an artist, showing homage, paying homage to Mr. Bob Ross. All right, here we go. Good morning, let's have some fun. I have my coffee, and we're gonna paint. Today it's acrylic paint, and I have a little tiny canvas, which is, I guess it's 5 by 7, it doesn't say. And I have my paint. I've already put it on my palette, and it's basically the 3 primaries: yellow, blue, and red. And then I have titanium white. I have dark titanium white. I don't know if you've ever used that. That's pretty good color if you want to do sand and things like that, and some birds have that color in them. But the truth is, you can get that with white and burnt umber. So I have burnt umber, I have some blue gray, I have Payne's gray, which is like a magic color. I prefer Payne's gray in acrylic to black. I don't know why, but I just do. I got some yellow green, and canary yellow and orange. Canary yellow different than primary yellow, slightly. You know, you just use what you have. That's how I look at it. And today we're going to channel Bob Ross. I don't mean that in the true sense of channeling, because I don't know that I could handle channeling somebody. I don't know if I could handle that. I have a hard enough time when I dream about somebody who has passed, yet alone feeling like I'm communicating with them. But you know what I mean. I'm going to try to create a Bob Ross type painting, and just because it's going to be fun, I have some Bob Ross quotes. All right. So one of the things that Bob Ross was kind of famous for was for just making up a painting as he went along. So let's make up a painting. There's no reference photo, but you have in your mind what you want. So all I'm doing, first of all, is I'm taking some blue and some white, and I'm making a sky. I mean, it's pretty basic, right? And as I do this, I don't have a poem today, but I do have some Bob Ross quotes that I want to read to you. I thought that would be fun. So that's how we'll channel Bob Ross. I never knew Bob Ross. I watched him probably maybe a little bit when he was alive. I think the guy was a genius. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves because everybody's familiar with the 30-minute TV show he did, which with commercials, I guess, unless it was PBS. Was it PBS? But anyway, doing a large painting in 30 minutes is a pretty awesome accomplishment just in and of itself. And one of the things I seem to do, it's almost like a natural thing for me, is I seem to dab paint more than do like the broad brush strokes, which he was famous for. So I'm not channeling him in every sense of the way, but I'm just having fun, okay? Just having fun. A nice blue sky. So let me get the first quote of the day. "There's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend." That's a good one. There's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. Yeah, I never knew him. I think, pretty sure that he's buried here in this area. in Florida somewhere. Maybe I'll have to go find it. Alright, so there's our sky. I don't have any clouds in it yet, but maybe I will put some clouds. Again, we're taking the Bob Ross approach, and that means we're kind of making it up as we go along. So I want to put some light mountains in the background. I think Bob Ross was famous for putting mountains in the background. So, but I don't want big mountains. I want these little rolling hills, just enough to catch light. And I'm using this blue-gray because it's almost like faded in the background. So these hills are distant. Okay. So we have those distant hills. And we can add a little bit of white to them to give the sense that they're getting hit by some sunlight. I don't necessarily want snow-capped mountains. I just want a little bit of light hitting them from the side. There we go, a little bit. Well, what he did, I think, was he showed people that it was relaxing to paint. And I think that's what I'm trying to do as well. Not that I'm trying to copy Bob Ross. No, I'm not. I'm just, I guess, doing the same thing without realizing it. It's you guys pointed it out to me more than I did it intentionally. You guys pointed out that watching the videos I make reminds you of having watched him. I do think he was a better teacher than I am. I don't think I'm a very good teacher. I'm going to take some of that white and see if I can add some clouds to the sky. I might come back and do something different with the clouds, but just going to add some clouds. Just some clouds. Let's go a second quote from Bob Ross. The secret to doing anything is believing that you can do it. Anything that you believe you can do strong enough, you can do. Anything as long as you believe. Well, that's a good one. Here's the pushback on that kind of a statement, because I've had that statement. You know, Robin and I used to do children's music. We had a song that it was called "You Can Be Whatever You Want," and the pushback that we got from people was, "Why are you telling children they can be whatever they want? You know that's not true. That's not a true statement." And my reply was this: I didn't say you can earn money at anything you want. I said you can do anything you want. So if you want to be a professional baseball player, for example, just take the word professional out of there. If you're 40 years old and you haven't made it yet in baseball, well, you can keep trying. But why don't you just have fun playing baseball? Or if you want to be a famous person, take away the word famous. You want to be a famous rock and roll star? Just be a rock and roll star. Why do you have to be famous? Why is that word famous in there? There's not one animal that strives to be famous. There's not one animal that tries to be professional. You know what they are? They are just doing what they have a passion to do. So if you're a bird, you have a passion to look for food. I guess we all have that. But I mean, they fly. They have a gift of flight. Do they worry about getting paid to do it? Do they worry about being famous for being able to do it? Do they worry about, breaking world records? All right, there's our puffy, cloudy sky. How about that? How about that for a Bob Rossism-ish? All right, here's my third quote. We don't make mistakes. We just have happy accidents. Oh my gosh. That is probably my favorite. My favorite. So this is going to be a painting of happy accidents in the Bob Ross philosophy. Maybe not the Bob Ross style, but the Bob Ross philosophy. Bob Ross philosophy in Poppa's style. Okay, that's funny. All right, those are distant mountains. How about that? Distant mountains, distant sky. All right, now we want to do some distant trees, because before we get to the close trees, we want to have the distant trees, okay? So let's try that. So what I will do, since I already have blue on my brush, I can add a little yellow, and that'll give me some green. So I don't got to change brushes yet. And just a little bit more blue, maybe. Make it kind of fade it out. Let's see how many happy accidents we can do now. Alright, it should be a little darker than that. Let's add a little bit of red to that, just to darken it up. Darkened and less saturated. There we go. Some distant trees there. What do you think about that? A little bit yellow. Make some more green there. Just dabbing it in. Let the happy accidents rule the day. These are our trees in front of the mountains. So if you're wondering why I added red to it instead of like a Payne's gray or a black, because red is the opposite of green, and it'll tone it down. It'll make it more less saturated. How about put it that way? That's what it's like. A little trick, if I could share one with you. Adding a complementary or an opposite color, you have to be careful, so it doesn't always happen like by magic. You have to work it, but it's a good way to desaturate a color so that you don't have the bright green. Now, if you're painting a bird or something or a flower or something that has bright colors, you definitely want to not saturate it. Okay, so right now I'm just doing a line of trees here in front of these mountains. I'm just making yellow and blue to make the green, and then I'm putting a little bit of red in there to darken it and make it less saturated. And all of these trees are just impressionistic, if you don't mind me using that word again. I seem to use that word a lot. And by the way, if you've never watched my videos before, I don't only stick to acrylic. In fact, I think most of my videos are probably watercolor. But in my real world, I've used acrylic a lot. See, the videos, I keep them small, like this is only 5x7, because of the time it takes to paint. And I could time-lapse them, which I do sometimes, but I kind of like hanging out and talking. So another quote, I'm going to continue talking. Another quote from Bob Ross. I think there's an artist hidden at the bottom of every single one of us. Oh, that's evident in children. So, yeah, I think I agree. So now I took a little bit of yellow. What I want to do is these distant trees, I want to put a little bit of sunlight hitting them on the left side, because we've already decided from the mountains that the sun is coming from the left side. So just add a little bit of yellow to these trees, make them all pine trees. Make them all the same kind of tree. Just add some yellow. Just get these trees catching the light. And maybe some smaller brushes down here catching the light. There we go. Little tiny areas of light. We don't gotta do the whole thing, but what I like about the small size is the same thing I like about the greeting cards. They're the same size, actually. is that people who I give these to will put them up in their office space, their cubicle, or wherever it is they work, behind their computer, and then if it reminds them of a place, a lot of times I use actual photos to use as reference. So if it reminds them of a place, even this one, which isn't a real place, somebody might say, "Gosh, that reminds me of," and they're gonna be reminded of it, which is, I don't know. You know, when you're at work, sometimes you just want someplace to shift your eyes for a moment, so you can daydream a little bit. You know, you don't want to only be working to pay the car payment. You don't want to only be working to pay the mortgage. You don't want to only be working to pay your insurance. Seems like sometimes that's what we're working for. We're not really working for ourselves, our day trips. But yeah, keep that in mind a little bit, not to be too philosophical. Today I'm channeling Bob Ross, so let's leave the philosophy up to him. Speaking of which, let's see the next one. He said, "You too can paint almighty pictures." I agree. If you want to, you know. Everybody doesn't want to. I've been watching the Olympics with Robin. We've been watching them together. And there's no way maybe when I was younger I could have attempted to achieve the things that those Olympic athletes have achieved, and it's so amazing. I mean, God has made some amazing human beings, and they are just incredible to watch, and their fortitude, is that the right word? But their ambition and their desire to be really, really good, the best at what they do. Those are the attributes, I think, that make a person really good. And you have to have a passion. You don't want to be just for a day. You want it to be every single day. You wake up and you say, "Oh, I'm gonna be really good at something. I'm gonna work toward that something." All right, we got that here. Let's go ahead and it's a little bit of Payne's gray here, I think. Let's tone it down a little bit. Let's how do I tone this down? I think I'll use some of this dark titanium white and make this Payne's gray a lot less stark. I'll put some less stark things over here. Yeah, because we want a lake. Of course we want a lake. Why not? Why not have a lake? Okay, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I'm gonna just sketch something real quick. I'll have a hill here and a grassy area here. Kind of make a little composition right there. Does that look good? All right. I'm trying to avoid hitting the water, because the water, we don't need to be wetting the brush. Not with these acrylics, straight out of the tube. All right, let's get a little bit of a line here. We can create a lake. Oh, I'm so tempted to push this brush into that water to thin it out. Okay. Just keeping this all. There. All right, let's get this yellow and blue. Make this dark green here. I'm trying to make some water here. I'm trying to put the distant. Now, what I could have done was I could have put some primer onto the canvas, some gesso, and then it would have been smoother. But right now I'm painting on the fabric of the canvas itself, so that's why it's got that texture look, which some people like and some people don't like. And what do I like? Well, I'm not sure. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. Let me make some more trees here. Street trees that seem to be in the shadow. Put a little yellow on them too. Give them some sunshine on them. Put this distant lawn over there. All right, let's just take this brush here, make it a little bit bigger, because we'll come back with the little brush. Go ahead and get some of this blue in here. Get this. Gotta fill this lake with water, and then we'll worry about the reflections after a while. So I have another quote from Bob Ross I will read to you. And it says, "No pressure, just relax and watch it happen." There you go. No pressure, just relax and watch it happen. That's a great one. Just relax and watch it. And that's not just for you, the viewer. That's for you, the artist. Just watch it happen. Watch it happen. That's what I'm doing. I'm seeing this come alive before me. And it's a very Bob Ross moment for me. Yeah, try to get this to come up here. I want to put some foreground things in front of some of these things, so I'm not too worried about making it perfect. There we go. There's our lake. What do you think of that? Huh? This is a very Bob Ross moment. Hey, if I was really going to channel Bob Ross, I would try and do this in 30 minutes. But his picture would be so big compared to mine. So I'm not really channeling Bob Ross much. Alright, let's get some white into this water here. I'm channeling Bob Ross in the sense that I'm reading his quotes. These are things he said on his TV show, so. And somebody was smart enough to write them down. Some light blue right there. There we go. And now we'll take a little bit of this gray green that we made for the trees. We'll go ahead and put some of those as reflections in the water. Let me get them green again. It turned almost brown. Let me make them green. Get some of the yellow coming in here. Come a little bit yellow. Channeling Bob Ross today. So who do you watch now? That's since Bob Ross is no longer alive. Well, you probably watch reruns of Bob Ross. And if you are interested in painting, like a formula painting, like Bob Ross would show you how to paint a specific picture. There are so many out there in the internet, probably mostly. I think Robin's mother watches somebody on TV, so there's still somebody. I think there's a guy who took over Bob Ross's show, right? I'm not really sure. But Robin's mom tells me she watches somebody. Robin's mom is an artist also. You go to her house and you see in her bathroom this painting of a parrot. And it's so brilliant. It's so beautiful. It's watercolor. I always tell her she does such great work. It was one time Robin and I went camping with Robin's brother. He has a camper. Robin and I had a tent. And her brother Jim he still has it, this camper, as I said. But he invited their mom. So Robin's mom and Robin's brother, we were all camping out. And they went hiking. And I said to Robin, you want to paint somewhere? Do you think your mom would like to paint? So we got some paints, and we found a place by a river, and that's exactly what we did. We painted. It was really a beautiful time. It was peaceful and quiet, and at the end of it all, there were 3 paintings, one from each of us. It was nice. It was very nice. All right, since green is the primary color out in this natural scene here, I'm gonna use a lot of this yellow. I'm gonna make a lawn right here. Let's get a lot of that yellow in there. Just come on, yellow. We need lots of you. I might need to open up that tube and get more. I want this to be really yellow, like a very yellow green. There it is. Very yellow green. Make this the lawn. More yellow. See, I keep looking for yellow, but the truth is it's green because it's mixed with the blue. It's amazing how long it'll stay green instead of yellow. Here we go. Put a little bit of a lawn here. Or a meadow. How about a meadow, not a lawn? Maybe it's not maintained by anybody. A lawn, usually you think of it as being maintained, right? By a landscape guy or something. Landscape company. There's our green meadow. You want to hear another Bob Ross quote? Don't forget to make all these little things individuals, all of them special in their own way. Oh, I like that one. That's right. So, we'll do that. Here I am. Let's make this a little bit less blotchy. Kind of pat it in there. Let me go ahead and add some highlights of yellow. Maybe the sun is hitting different areas, at different brilliances, different levels of brilliance. Different levels of brilliance. Whoa, that's a quote from me. You can use that one. That's what you are and I are. We are different levels of brilliance. Next time somebody makes you feel like you don't know anything, say, we all have different levels of brilliance. And that's true. Come on. You know it's true. I can't. Oh my gosh. If you asked me to make a dinner, I don't know what. I would start with toast, and then I would probably end with toast. I can make toast. Yeah, don't ask me to be. I'm not a culinary guy. Oh, no. So, I'm just having fun. Wasn't that like Bob's main thing, to have fun? Just have a good time. Give yourself something fun to do. I think I may have shared with you that I worked in radio for a very long time. But you know, there were 3 years during my radio career that I did not work in radio. Those 3 years, well, what happened was the radio station I was working for shut down. And I had no job. And I found a job at an assisted living facility working with older people. And now I'm older, so I'm the age that they were then. Not quite as old as some of them, but I'm getting there. But anyway, the point is, let's put some darker green right here, just get this here. The point is that I worked something completely different than radio, which was very cool because I got to see the world a little bit differently than sitting behind a microphone in a studio all the time. Yeah. Alright, I'm going to add some really dark right here because I want to put a tree here. I already kind of have in my mind that I'm going to put a happy tree there. A happy tree. Keeping with the Bob Ross idea. So, what did I do with the assisted living facility since I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical person? Well, I did activities. Of course. I showed them how to paint. I showed them how to draw. I showed them how to have fun. That was my job. My job was to show people how to have fun. And I would hire people because I had a budget from them. I would hire people to come in and play music, and I would hire people to come in and give little speeches and talk to people. I stayed away from people who were trying to sell stuff because that's all the time. Wow, they want to sell insurance. They want to sell you a investment package. They want to sell you, yeah, that was my... I had to be a policeman with that. I had to be on guard not to get these people trapped into believing they could spend their money and invest in their children, invest in their children's, for their children, for the sake of their children. Yep. There's a lot of people out there who are really good at lying. There's my quote. There's one from me. There's a lot of people out there that are really good at lying. Go ahead, use that quote. I'm just using different levels of burnt umber here just to make it interesting, I guess. All I'm trying to do is create an area here that might be in the shade or might be dirt. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do here. Just different shades. Maybe I should put a rock or something right there. Would that work? A rock? It's the Payne's Gray. Get a very stark. Yeah, a little stark rock right there. Almost like a close-up mountain. All that is pure Payne's Gray. Just dabbing it on there as like some rock. Some rocks over here. This is a place that would be fun to go to. We have a place not too far from here that has a beautiful open lawn, and you go there and you see people picnicking all the time. It's really cool. Do you have a picnic basket? Do you own a picnic basket? I don't. I have a picnic backpack, but I don't have a picnic basket. I should get one. You know, it'd be good as a prop, like if you were going to like paint a picture of a picnic basket. How do you like the way the picture's coming up, by the way? It's coming out. Are you ready for another Bob Ross quote? All right. Find freedom on the canvas. Find freedom on the canvas. I like that one. I'm just putting some more rocks out here. Find freedom on the canvas. That's a good one. So, all right, I'm just goofing right now. All right, I'm going to put this in the water, not because I want to use water, but because I don't want it to dry on there. I'm going to get this one a little wet too, because it's for the same reason. All right, let's take some of this dark titanium. What is it actually called? That is what it's called. It's called dark titanium white. Yeah, it's kind of an off-white. I think I like it because it doesn't quite look as bright as white. And I want this rock right now to have some of that reflected light, and then I can highlight that. Look at this, it's getting all over my hands now. I tell you, I am a mess. What if Bob Ross was a mess? I never watched that movie that Owen Wilson made that looked like it was making fun of Bob Ross. I don't know if it was good or not, but I didn't watch it because it looks like it's making fun of him. So, he didn't sell a movie ticket to me, and I like Owen Wilson. I do, but it just seemed like a bad choice to be making fun of somebody who we considered a friend. You know, Bob Ross felt like a friend. Some people in the public eye do that. They make you feel like you know them. They feel like a friend. Do you have any examples of that? Do you have any examples of a celebrity that you really never knew, but you felt like he or she was a friend? John Lennon felt like a friend to me. I didn't know him. I actually saw him one time in New York City. I didn't speak to him, but I saw him and Yoko going to a taxi cab. Yep. He felt like a friend. Bob Ross felt like a friend. There's a few YouTubers right now that feel like friends. I don't really know them, but James and Carla come to mind. They're a beautiful couple. They live in Florida and in New York. I consider them mostly New Yorkers. They're like transplanted New Yorkers or whatever. But they have a beautiful dog named Hudson. If you look them up, their YouTube channel is James and Carla. I did a picture for them of Hudson. I did a couple of them, I think. Yeah, I did. I did one digitally, and then I did one in watercolor. There. Now see, that's the off-white, the dark titanium, but I'm going to use the actual titanium later on. Right now I just want to put a few little areas of light here, just to create the sense that this has got some texture in the ground here. All right, another quote from Bob Ross. It's so important to do something every day that will make you happy. Yeah, that's a good one. I will add to that. It's so important to do something every day that will make somebody else happy. I think when you make somebody else happy, you also make yourself happy. You know? And if somebody is doing something for you that makes you happy, show them you appreciate them. I am so sorry because I am preaching to the choir. So just forget that I said that. I'm really talking to myself, though. I'm just reminding myself to appreciate the people in my life, including you all, y'all, including y'all, because you write so nice things on the comments, and gosh, sometimes it really makes my day. It just, you say such sweet things. All I'm really trying to do is hang out here, do something. I think I may have told you that Robin and I play music on the first Friday in the evening in our town. They have this thing called the First Friday Art Walk. And even though we're both artists, we don't showcase our art. What we do is we play music. She plays the mandolin, and I play the accordion, and we just sit on the sidewalk and play. We play in front of a chocolate shop, And every time somebody goes into the chocolate shop, the door opens up, and it just smells so good. All right, now here's the happy tree. Ready? All right, this is... I'm going to start with yellow. I know that's probably not something Bob Ross would do, but I'm starting with yellow because I want yellow to be the highlight color for the sunlight hitting it. So I thought I would do that first. It's kind of backwards. Do you know who I like watching now? Oh gosh, have you seen James Gurney? Do you know who James Gurney is? He is brilliant. Oh my gosh. There is probably nobody better to learn from than James Gurney. So absolutely, yes. He's and his wife is an artist also. And really, truthfully, you can learn so much from him. All right, now I did the light. Let me put the dark. And I'm just going to use Payne's Gray. Just put it in there as if it's a silhouette. And then I can always add stuff to it, but I wanted to have that yellow line first to define where the light is hitting the side of it. And then I'll come back and add some detail. Plus I have to add the leaves and all that stuff. So here's a happy little tree. Let's hope it comes out looking nice. We can get it to go all the way to the top of the page, to the canvas. Just using Payne's Gray. On the camera it might look black. I don't know. Alright, just keep building this up a little bit. Let's put a branch out here. Big old thick branch right there. There we go. And bring some over here too. Okay, you ready for another quote from Bob Ross? Talent is a pursued interest. Anything that you're willing to practice, you can do. Well, I started to tell you about the music that Rob and I play, yes, and we do need to practice. Oh my gosh, yes. I heard somebody one time say, a piano player say, and she said, she can tell when she hasn't practiced for one day. Like if she skips a day of practice, she can tell. She said, but the audience can tell if she skips 2 days. Yeah, I know. It's something you really have to do all the time. I don't know that that's true for painting, though. It's good to do it a lot, but I don't think you have to do it every day. I do. It seems like I do it every day. Painting in the morning for me is like a cup of coffee. It's just part of my day. And these paintings that I do for the YouTube channel, for Poppa Paints, these are so different than what I used to do when I was younger, because younger days, it was all about getting a work done. Like somebody commissioned me to paint, or an illustration for somebody. Well, right now there's no leaves on that tree, but there's our tree. We got our tree, our lake, our distant trees, our distant mountains, this foreground area, whatever this is. I should put another rock right here. Give it a little bit of a lift to that right there. So, yeah, maybe there's some flowers in here too, some wildflowers. All right, let's put another tree. Let's use the burnt umber for this tree. We'll put it right here. A little bit right there. Let it come up. Not all the way, just to there. We'll add some foliage to that. Okay. And we'll get some shadows on there in a second. All right, let's get some of this dark green here. Mix some Payne's gray with some of this green this yellow and this blue. Let's create some shadows under this tree here. A little bit of dappled light happening. Of course, there's nothing creating the shadow yet. I haven't put the foliage on the tree, but I will. I want the foliage to be pretty brilliant, like fall colors. Let's put some shadows behind these rocks. Maybe even some shadows over here. And this grass over here. A little bit of shadow there. Okay. Now let's put all these brushes in the water so they don't dry. That's one of the things about acrylic. You gotta make sure you don't ruin your brushes. All right, let's start with the brown for this tree here. Let's just put some. We'll start with the dark tones, and then we'll add the lighter colors on top of it. This is a brush that's going to fall apart any second. I can feel it. This is where the dabbing happens. Lots of dabbing. Yeah, I'm just using pure burnt umber now, straight out of the tube, to create this tree here. The foliage in the tree. And I want to do the same over here, by the way, so I'll go ahead and do it. Do both trees at once. Yeah, that Owen Wilson movie, I've never seen it. I think it's called Paint. Have you guys seen that movie? Because you tell me if is he making fun of Bob Ross, or is that just what the movie trailer made me think? That he was making fun of Bob Ross. And I'm not a friend of Owen Wilson's, although I do like a lot of his movies. I love that movie he made that was it Midnight in Paris, I think it was. I love that movie. But yeah, I didn't like him making fun of Bob Ross. At least that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. Yeah, now we got a little sense of the tree. That's why you have a shadow over here. And over here, we're gonna make this one a little bit same kind of a tree, I guess. Just a happy little tree, as Bob Ross would say. Right? This one comes closer to the ground. Another quote from Bob Ross. You ready? Make love to the canvas. Well, I guess so. You know what I have to do? I have to get some yellow in here. Put some yellows over here. These yellows on this side of the tree. Make love to the canvas. I guess that's his way of saying treat it with respect. If you love somebody, you treat her with respect. Or him. You treat that person with respect. I don't know that you make love, by the way. I think you express love. Make love is a funny term. Let me add some orange in here. That came out all right. It's better than I thought it would. Okay. And then over here too, on this tree. Look at that, I made a mess. I am always a mess. That's why I don't wear my good shirts anymore in the morning when I'm doing these pictures. I need more yellow. Here. A little more yellow added to the palette. Let me get some of this orange and bring it down. Get some of these yellow orange colors here where the sun is hitting the opposite side of these leaves here on this tree. Yeah, the sunlight is coming through them. Okay, let's do that over here too. Get some of this orange over here. Get some of that yellow. Get these yellows in little batches here because the sun is, of course, got lots of places for shade to happen. I'll do the same thing over here too. Little areas. Now my first idea to put that yellow line over there, I don't think it's working. I'll fix that, but my idea, well, it didn't work. So, like I say, everything is an experiment. Here's another Bob Ross quote. Let me see. Painting will bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Well, that's true. Painting will bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. All right, let me add a little bit of just some things down here that the sun is being caught on. Maybe there's some little plants down here that we can't really define. Just needs a little bit of light, a little bit of orange and yellow. Maybe down here too. Maybe some bright spots here. A few bright spots here. All right, let me get another small brush. Here's a good one, I hope. That's real small. Get some of this white. I'll put a couple of hints of light on this rock here. The sun is catching it just right. And put some white spots over here. Maybe there's some flowers or something. Let me try and fix this edge here. It didn't come out the way I thought it should. Okay, I'm going to put this a little bit thicker than it needs to be, then I'm going to come back at it with the Payne's gray. And then what I want to do also, so speaking of Payne's gray, I want to get the Payne's gray and I want to add a few more visible, noticeable limbs inside this tree, because I feel like it wouldn't be completely covering. Let me make this rock a little bit more defined. This rock. Put some over here. Alright, now let's come back over here. Let's make that white side, the side that's getting lit a little bit, let's make it very small. You just have a hint that the light is wrapping around the tree. We can go ahead and add a few yellow. Okay. I think we're done. I think we're done with our Bob Ross-ish approach to painting. Make sure I put all the paintbrushes in there. I just see one area I want to fix right here. Or maybe over here. All right. There's our painting. A few areas over here where the sun is catching some grass, maybe. Let's get some green here. That's a little hint of it. How about another Bob Ross quote before we wrap it up? We artists are a different breed of people. We're a happy bunch. That's a nice statement, but I know a lot of artists who just are always, woe is me. I know a lot of woe is meers. Yeah, I like to think we're a happy bunch too. But the truth is, all right, let me end with another one. Let's see, one more. We want happy paintings. Happy paintings. If you want sad things, watch the news. There's my final quote from Bob Ross today. And there's the acrylic painting on a 5x7 canvas, done with the channeling of Mr. Bob Ross. Alright, thank you for watching. He took a half hour to do his paintings that were large. I took a whole hour to do a painting that's small. Alright, talk to you later. Bye.